Good morning. Welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, a full show we have planned for today. Today we're talking with one of our community partners really helping to fight the hunger issue in our community. And there is a true correlation between poverty and hunger and crime.
Oh, absolutely, Shonda. One of the things we absolutely know is that if a kid is in a situation where he or she's not being nourished, if they don't have access to food, their ability to learn and to be in attendance at school, it just nosedives. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, unfortunately, many of those kids wind up in the criminal justice system. Right. And that's why it's so important that we understand those dynamics, and from a law enforcement perspective, that we partner with our school system and try to identify as many of those families as we possibly can, because that's the way that we actually get involved in preventing crime on the front end, as opposed to reacting to crime after the fact. If we can have those impacts with families and get these kids in a situation where they're getting nourishment, the appropriate nourishment each and every day, we can fight crime. We can eliminate crime.
Absolutely. And we talk about, the importance of community collaboration, but efforts like that, it really is going back to that all-in approach.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what's so important about this. We have at the Leon County Sheriff's Office, we have the food drives. We have all across the community. I see churches engaged in trying to provide food. My church does it, and so many others. And that's an understanding that the entire community has about the importance of nourishment and making sure that a child gets a balanced meal each and every day, if in fact he or she is going to be able to learn and excel as a human being in our community. And when they succeed, we all succeed.
Absolutely. And we talk about, the youth component, but there is also another component. A lot of what we're doing with the RISE Center is really targeting that population leaving incarceration and making sure they have resources too, so that they don't fall back into those.
Absolutely. Our reentry efforts in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, I think, have taken on a great initiative that enables us not to just lock people up, but when they're in our care and custody, we want to make sure we make the assessment and then get them the assistance they need back in the community. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of that, but that takes organizations like Second Harvest to help us get those connections made and get those persons the nourishment they need in our community.
So we're going to be talking about a lot of those resources today, Sheriff, talking about all of the great programming that they have and the things that they're doing in the community, innovative ways to really feed the hunger in our community. So you want to stick around. Coming up after the break, we're talking about feeding the hungry in the Big Bend. We'll talk with Second Harvest of the Big Bend after the break.
Good morning, this is Detective Josh Turner with the Violent Crime Unit, and this is your Safety Tip Tuesday.
Cyberbullying can cause feelings of devastation and may lead to traumatic incidents. Following these tips can help prevent you or someone you know from falling victim to cyberbullying. Talk regularly with your child about online activities that he or she is involved in. Do not post anything that may compromise your reputation. People will judge you based on how you appear to them online. They will also give or deny you opportunities such as jobs, scholarships, and internships based on this. Talk to a friend, start a movement, or host an event to bring awareness to cyberbullying. While you may understand what it is, it's not until others are aware of it too that we can truly prevent it from occurring. Restrict access to your online profile to trusted friends only. Most social networking sites like Facebook and Instagram offer you the ability to share certain information with friends only. Regularly search your name in every major search engine. If any personal information or content comes up which may be used by someone to target you, take action to have it removed before it becomes a problem.
And that is your safety tip. Have a great day.
Start your new career as a corrections officer at one of the state's most innovative agencies, the Leon County Sheriff's Office.
When I left the academy, my training never stopped.
Work with state-of-the-art technology.
You can make a lot of money at a very young age.
Starting pay is $50,000 a year with amazing benefits.
Firearms, taser, driving training.
A better work-life balance with more time off.
They're going to sponsor you through the academy and pay you while you're there.
Join the family. Apply today at leoncountyso.com.
Welcome back. Second Harvest of the Big Bend, it's tackling the issue of hunger in our community, one food distribution at a time. Joining us now is CEO Monique Ellsworth. Monique, tell us about Second Harvest and what you do there.
So Second Harvest, the Big Bend, is our community's food bank, and so we have a contractual obligation to distribute charitable food to our neighbors. Our service area is actually 16 counties, so a pretty huge footprint up here in the Big Bend region of the Florida Panhandle.
You know, Sean and I were just talking just a moment ago, just how big is the issue of hunger in our community?
It's pretty enormous, and it actually changes pretty rapidly with other kind of environmental things. So a hurricane coming through, like Hurricane Idalia that we saw late last year, that was impactful. Currently what we're seeing is the cost and inflation of food is really impacting families' ability to stretch their dollars. So as a food bank, we're having to kind of keep an eye on national trends, environmental trends, and make sure that we're capable to respond to those needs as they change. Okay.
You know, one of the things that's near and dear to me is the issue of our youth in our community. So how impactful is hunger on a child's ability to learn?
Oh, well, I know that I am an abhorrent human to be around when I am hungry. And so I can only imagine, like, if a child is arriving at school in the morning and perhaps the last thing that they ate was their free or reduced lunch yesterday. That's going to absolutely impact a child's ability to absorb information and be able to behave and to develop cognitively. And what we know is that third grade reading levels is a huge indicator for a lot of things. And so what we want to make sure is that as a food bank, we are providing intervention options for our school systems to adopt internally so that we can have a chance to really assist families by working with their children and making sure that hunger isn't something that they're facing at home.
Okay. So how does the operation work, and how are you getting the food to the children and the persons needed in our community?
So we have an entire team, and what we're focusing on, half of our time is sourcing product. So making sure that we're identifying nutritious food. So we've had a huge push over the last few years to increase the amount of fresh produce that we are sourcing directly from local farmers and growers. And then we store that for as short a period as possible inside of our facility, inside of our warehouse, and then we immediately distribute it out to our partners. But our school systems has really turned into our greatest method of feeding children and making sure that we're able to partner with them. We do that in a few different ways. During the school year, our backpack program that people are really familiar with is one of those methods. But this year we've actually transitioned a lot into opening what we're calling school pantries or school markets. And that is a way that we're thinking that instead of a backpack serving a single child and being really laser focused, a pantry might serve that entire family. So that instead of a child going home with small items of food, a mom, dad, nan, granddad, aunts, uncles, or the child can actually shop in that pantry and at no charge bring food home to supplement what the family might be able to do on their own financially throughout the week.
Okay. So, and I see you guys do a great job. I see distributions all over the community. So where does the food come from, and how do you guys get the food?
So we have a lot of retail partners, so like our Publixes and our Walmarts and big distribution centers are one way that we are able to collect food. But we also have contractual relationships with the USDA or the Department of Agriculture, where we kind of operationalize statewide programs in our service area. And then the third way is, of course, like really helpful food drives that happen with either like the scouting program that's happening with the Boy Scouts of America currently for food banks nationwide, or just any drives that are happening at churches and civic organizations. Those are additional ways that we are able to pull food into the food bank.
Okay. So all the things you're doing, how have you measured? Are you able to measure the impact that you're having on hunger in our community?
So something that we're really interested in is trying to understand the number of times families are having to use our resources. So the way that our food gets out is going to be through some of our mobile distributions that you mentioned, but then we also have pantries set up, like I mentioned earlier, at schools and at nonprofits, churches throughout our service area. So we're implementing a new tool where we're actually collecting data and information on each of the neighbors that are coming in so that we can see how often people are actually having to utilize it, so we can learn, as a family seeking services from one of our partners or from us directly 4 times a month, or is it 4 times a year, so that we can learn better, what does that actually look like in a household. And one way that we're also trying to provide a more helpful or holistic intervention is by doing something that we started during the pandemic called Neighborhood Impact, where we are going into neighborhoods and asking them, in addition to food, what else might you need, so that we can partner with some of our other nonprofit partners so that we can collectively go in and provide a more holistic service experience for those neighbors.
Wow, fantastic. Still ahead in our Second Harvest mobile market, more on the new innovative partnership after the break.
In times of stress such as quarantine, what goes on behind closed doors can be terrifying. But you don't have to suffer in silence. Help is here. Love is not controlling. Love is not frightening. And love is not violent. Love is respect. If you need assistance or just want to talk, we are here. In Florida, call the Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800-500-1119 to speak to someone in your area. Or for more information, email the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council at dvcctally@gmail.com.
At the Florida Sheriff's Association, we are able to serve our sheriffs and Floridians thanks to our member support. The FSA Member Perks program was created to give back to our members for all that they do. Members enjoy savings on restaurants, vacations, golf courses, car rentals, healthcare, movie tickets, theme parks, online shopping, and more. With over 300,000 offers, you'll always find ways to save. To learn more or to join the Florida Sheriff's Association, visit fsamemberperks.org.
Have you or someone you know been a victim of a crime? You may use the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Online Reporting System to report lost or stolen property, vandalism, identity theft, failure to return leased property, shoplifting, cyberstalking, and more. Go to www.leoncountyso.com, highlight Citizen Center, and click Online Crime Reporting. Scroll down to read and determine if online report filing is appropriate for your incident. If your incident is appropriate to file a report, scroll to the bottom of the web page and click Select Incident. There are several different incident types that can be entered using the internet. Please select one from the list below and continue. Remember, if this is an emergency, please call 911.
We're back with CEO of the Second Harvest of the Big Bend, Monique Ellsworth. Monique, tell us about the new mobile market.
We are so excited for our mobile market. So I mentioned to you earlier that our service area is 16 counties. A lot of that is really rural North Florida, but there are also rural parts right here in Leon County. And something that we struggle with is what we call our final mile. So we have, at any given day, like a little over 2 million pounds of food at our facility available to go out to families. But it's that final mile of it's from, in our distributions facility, and we need to get it onto the plate of the family that's in need. How do we get it there is sometimes where we struggle. So setting up partnerships with schools or senior centers or nonprofits or churches is one way, but there are definitely pockets inside of our community where there's not transportation. It might be an area where the majority of neighbors are walking or using bicycles, and so access to the food is limited. So we have developed a really positive and strong and fruitful relationship with Publix. And last year, they got all of the food banks onto a phone call to ask us about this final mile issue and what they could do to help us reach families in need. And we had heard of other food banks across the nation having these mobile markets where they could do very targeted distributions and drive a vehicle right into a neighborhood and allow individuals to actually shop from it. It's a choice pantry where people can walk through and actually select the very specific items that that family needs. And so Publix gave us funds to custom fit a trailer for us. And so it was built out in Texas. We drove out there and we were able to bring it back, and we started using it this past summer. And it allows us to be very targeted and give this really dignified experience for shoppers to actually walk onto the trailer, select the food that they need before they leave.
Okay. Well, it sounds like partnerships are extremely important to what you do. Talk about that some more. How many other partners do you have?
Oh goodness, I mean, like every single one of our partner agencies, we're working with them right now to try and figure out what other holistic services they could be bringing on site, because what we don't want is that simply feeding families be the spirit in which we serve our community. If all we're doing is giving food away, we are simply feeding the line rather than shortening the line. And we want to be doing work to make sure that we are assisting families beyond their day-to-day needs, and we're helping them resolve the issues that led to that food insecurity to begin with. So we look to our partners and some of our nonprofit kind of brothers and sisters to come alongside of us and provide that holistic service to families in need.
So if there's somebody out there watching today and are in need of services, how do they get in touch with you and the Harvest?
So we try and make it really easy. They can simply call us if they want, and then we can walk them through where our next mobile distribution is. But they could also just go to our website, which is fightinghunger.org, and they can work with our interactive map that they can put in their address, and they can see what food pantries are available close to them. Also, 211 is an incredible resource if people aren't familiar with that. Simply calling 211, someone on the other end of the phone could give them that same information in the event that they're uncomfortable using technology. But we try and make it as barrier-less as possible. People can call us, can call 211, can go to our website, follow us on social media, and we try and get the word out there each and every day.
Okay. Now, are there other ways in which citizens can help? Can they come in and volunteer to work with you guys? Or?
Absolutely. So there's like 3 key ways that we invite people to participate with us. And the first is going to be like that sweat equity. Come in, work shoulder to shoulder with us, come out to the food bank, work there in that location. We have a garden. We have a 5-acre farm that we actually have too. So if you have children and you need them to just expend some of that great energy, they can go out to the farm, and we do family days out there. We also invite people to help us spread our messaging, so following us on social media and sharing what we're sharing might get information in front of an audience that we don't have access to yet. And then of course the third and final thing is cash donations, the ability for us to make purchases. That's something that we're always looking for greater bandwidth with.
In about 30 seconds, how can our viewers learn more about Second Harvest?
Well, come out. Our core mission is to fight hunger by feeding people, by educating people, and by engaging our community. So we'd love for individuals to come out to the food bank. We love giving tours. We can host big groups to do volunteer activities. We can come to your church or your civic group and do presentations. Follow us on social media. But ultimately, there's a way for everyone to be served by their food bank, either because they're receiving food, they're giving food, or they're coming out and helping us.
Monique, thank you for the great work you do. Up next in our Deputy on Duty, we celebrate our own during Black History Month. Stay tuned.
This Black History Month, we honored the Leon County Sheriff's Office trailblazers who have left an indelible mark on the community, particularly in the realm of law enforcement. We began this Deputy on Duty with Sheriff Walt McNeil, the first Black sheriff in the modern history of Leon County and the 3rd overall. In November 2016, Walter A. McNeil was elected sheriff of Leon County, marking a significant milestone. With a distinguished 40-year career as a public servant, Sheriff McNeil has been a leader in the fight against crime, not only in Tallahassee, but across the state of Florida. Chief McNeil, as he was previously known during his tenure at the Tallahassee Police Department, garnered recognition for his progressive voice and effective response to citizen concerns. His community policing efforts aimed at tackling gangs, drugs, and juvenile crime earned him numerous accolades, including the Tallahassee NAACP Humanitarian Award, Public Sector Business Person of the Year, and the United States DEA Award. While McNeil's achievements are indeed noteworthy, it's crucial to recognize the historical context of his time as being sheriff of Leon County. More than a century ago, in February 1975, Philip DeCourcy became the first African-American sheriff in Leon County. Born into slavery in 1846 on a Jefferson County plantation, DeCourcy's brief 9-month tenure as sheriff paved the way for John Stokes, the second African-American elected sheriff from 1875 to 1877. DeCourcy and Stokes were pioneers in the era marked by adversity, fighting against prejudice and societal challenges. Fast forward to the present, Sheriff Walt McNeil stands as a testament to their legacy, breaking barriers as the first Black sheriff in over a century. Now let's turn our focus to the present-day heroes shaping the narrative of law enforcement in Leon County. Meet Dr. Argatha Gilmore, the newest assistant sheriff at the Leon County Sheriff's Office. With a doctorate in strategic leadership, Dr. Gilmore oversees more than 300 employees and at times nearly 1,000 incarcerated men and women at the Leon County Detention Facility, demonstrating that education is a powerful force in leadership.
I stand on the shoulders of so many pioneers, so many. And when I talk about pioneers, not only the celebrities who blazed the way for us, but I'm talking about grandmamas and mamas who could not go to school, but went through so much for us to excel, to go through school and to reach heights that they were never able to.
Dr. Gilmore's commitment extends beyond traditional law enforcement. She actively engages in several community organizations. She is a dedicated and faithful member of Watson Temple Institutional Church of God in Christ and has served for several years as the president of the Watson Temple Missionary Board. The dedication reflects the multifaceted approach of the Leon County Sheriff's Office, addressing not just crime, but the broader needs of the community. We also celebrate Lieutenant Melinda McBride, a seasoned veteran with a stellar 30-year career at LCSO. From starting as a dispatcher in 1993 to becoming the commander of the hostage negotiating team, Lieutenant McBride has faced challenges head-on. She made history as the first African-American female detective, lieutenant, and commander of a specialty team. Lieutenant McBride not only excelled in her professional roles, but exemplifies the human side of law enforcement. Her personal initiatives to support families in need showcase the genuine compassion that exists within the profession.
I don't know if it's surprising in this career, but, as law enforcement, there's many things that we have personally done to help people in this community out of our own pockets that we don't ever tell people about. When I was a school resource deputy, there's kids that I have actually helped financially that I've never shared. And I won't share. I say it to say now, but I would never go and tell anyone that I ever supported a family or did, because I didn't want anyone to know it, because it was from the true genuineness of my heart. So law enforcement afforded that. So this career allows us sometimes to be in those positions.
As we celebrate Black History Month, we honor not only the historical achievements of Sheriff Walt McNeil, but also recognize the resilience and tenacity of the present-day leaders like Dr. Agatha Gilmore and Lieutenant Melinda McBride. Their collective stories echo through time, illustrating that progress is built on the foundation of courage, determination, and the commitment to justice. This Black History Month, we salute these remarkable individuals and all those who have contributed to the rich tapestry of African-American history in Leon County.
Start your new career as a corrections officer at one of the state's most innovative agencies, the Leon County Sheriff's Office.
When I left the academy, my training never stopped.
Work with state-of-the-art technology.
You can make a lot of money at a very young age.
Starting pay is $50,000 a year with amazing benefits.
Firearms, taser, driving training.
A better work-life balance with more time off.
They're going to sponsor you through the academy and pay you while you're there.
Join the family. Apply today at leoncountyso.com.
In today's society, kindness can sometimes feel hard to find.
Like a purple unicorn.
Cyberbullies hide behind keyboards.
Road rage can accelerate quickly.
And gun violence
has taken our loved ones.
But we can all work to tip the scales of kindness.
Put down the weapons and think before you act.
Pay for someone else's order at the drive-thru.
Offer to pick up groceries for an elderly person.
Or just write a kind note and pass it on.
Find ways to spread kindness.
Spread kindness.
Spread kindness.
Difunde amabilidad.
Spread kindness.
So let's go all in
and spread kindness.
Download the Leon County Sheriff's Office mobile app right now. Our mobile app makes it easier than ever to report a crime and get important safety alerts. You can also see who's been booked at the Leon County Detention Facility and follow reported crimes in your neighborhood, all in one convenient location in the palm of your hands. Download LCSO Connect right now. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play by searching LCSO Connect.
Welcome back to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, celebrating Black History Month this month, and right within our agency we have some individuals, wonderful leaders who are truly trailblazers.
It's absolutely people who've stood in the gap, you might say, and have gone through some very challenging situations to get to where they are. And it speaks volumes, I think, to the diversity of the Leon County Sheriff's Office and the fact that I think all of our members embrace our culture and then embrace our history. And that's what makes it so delightful to work in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, the people that come together from all walks of life and blend together to serve the citizens of Leon County. We love it, and we're all in.
Absolutely all in. And then circling back around to Second Harvest of the Big Men and all the things that they were doing, one of the things Monique talked about is that, we're really seeing grocery prices inch higher and higher and higher. And there are families who are really struggling out there. So it's really encouraging to see all of the ways they're reaching folks.
Yeah, the Second Harvest is just outstanding. I can't say enough about I've been out there with them. I've gone to the warehouse. I see how the setup is. And we're very fortunate in our community to have an organization like that.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that there is a role that everyone can play. She mentioned, of course, donations are great, but sweat equity works too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everybody can have a part. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us for another episode of Leon County Today. We'll see you back here next week.